Hello, I'm Jennifer Firestein, Associate State Director for AARP Michigan, and welcome to AARP's Best Kept Secrets. We host this show monthly to share a lot of the great things that AARP is doing that you might not know about. So often people think that we're just a membership discount club or that we are an insurance company, which we're not. And so often people just don't understand the great things that we're doing. So this show is really to help you learn more about AARP, find out how you can get involved, and really to help you understand that AARP is a wise friend and fierce defender. And this month, we are going to be talking about the great work that we do with veterans, military, and their families. And so this month is on AARP Salutes Veterans. And I am so pleased to welcome two of my colleagues to today's show, Melissa Seifert in Michigan, who is my Michigan colleague, and Troy Broussard, who is in the national office. He does all things veterans for AARP. And they are just two fabulous guests that are going to share all kinds of things. You know, we're going to talk about the Veterans Brigade. We'll talk about the Health Navigator. We'll talk about the Veterans Report. These are all great initiatives that AARP works on. And so I want to turn it over first to Melissa to introduce herself, and then Troy, if you can introduce yourself and just share with our guests what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us today, Jen. As Jennifer mentioned, my name is Melissa Seifert. I'm the Associate State Director for Government Affairs for AARP Michigan. But my side gig, I like to say, and one of my passions is working with our veteran population here in Michigan. And I think it's important to mention that it's not just the veterans that we're targeting, it is their families as well. So a lot of the resources that we have are not just for those who served, but also those who also sacrificed by supporting their loved one who was in the military. So this work actually began in Michigan. It started here in the great state of Michigan with all you Michiganders. AARP was approached by then the Deputy Director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, asking the question, how can AARP get involved? We're finding that so many of our veterans are not collecting on the benefits that they earn through their service. Benefits like burial benefits, spousal benefits, pensions, all these things that are monetary values. They were not understanding how to get them and how to collect on them. So AARP was able to take on that task and willing and able to do so, and started having programmatic sessions throughout the state of Michigan, educating individuals on what benefits are available through their service. And I'm happy to say that Michigan has risen on that rank chart, and we have more Michiganders that are collecting on those benefits, but there's still so much work that we want to do. And so I'm hoping that after this session, we're not a secret anymore, and you will share to everybody all this great information that AARP has.
And thank you for that, Melissa. You know, you were talking about how AARP Michigan ranked just so far below the radar of the rest of the country, not just AARP Michigan, but just veterans in Michigan not accessing their health benefits. And you've done a great job moving that needle and really ensuring that more veterans get the benefits that they're deserving of. So, and Troy, introduce yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Jennifer, and Mel as well, my cohort and colleague working in the veterans space. It's exciting to be here today to the audience here in Michigan, and I'm very excited to talk to everyone about our veterans, military, and their families initiative that we have through AARP. My name is Troy Broussard. I work out of our National Office of Community Engagement, and I also co-lead our Veterans and Military Initiative. And also, I'm an Army Desert Storm veteran, and so I'm very excited to do this work. And then now, you know, a lot of our veterans, and you can understand this, we're always looking for that second mission. And I think in my life, I have found it being able to work with AARP, for AARP, working with the veteran audience, and knowing that, you know, of our 38 million members that we do have with AARP, 6 million of those members, you know, have served currently in the United States military service. So, you know, that alone makes AARP the largest veteran support organization in the marketplace. So, you know, like my cohort Mel mentioned, a lot of great work being done in Michigan, a lot of great opportunities there as well. And we're very excited to give you a different perspective, to look at the national perspective, what we're doing on a national level, and how it's impacting you right there in Michigan and making a difference in those communities where you all live and serve. So excited to be here for this interesting conversation, and I can't wait to share all the fun things that we're gonna, talk to you about today. And like we talked about, there won't be a secret anymore. It'll be really fun and invigorating. So back to you, Jennifer.
All right, thank you for that, Troy. And to our viewers, this is live, and that's the benefit of watching live, is that you can post your questions in the comment section and we'll answer them for you. It is also being recorded, so at the end of the show, if you want to come back and watch it again or share it with others, it will be available to you. Melissa, I'm going to go back to you because I want you to share some of the things that we're doing locally in Michigan. So can you talk about the things that we're doing to support veterans and military and their families here in the great state of Michigan?
Absolutely. When we look at the demographics of what we have here in Michigan for veterans, we have about 672,000 veterans that reside in this great state. Of those, 79% are 50 plus, and we do have a lower number of female veterans at 7%. But we're still actively engaged with those female members and active duty military, as well as those that are veterans. So we're doing a lot in the way of education and outreach. We're really excited that we're going out into community in partnership with the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, like I said before, to educate on those benefits. I really call it a speed dating with the Michigan Veterans Affairs, with the VA, and then also with AARP to provide all of our great resources, which Troy will share here in a minute. But right now we have an exciting program going on during open enrollment, and we just came out with our brand new Health Navigator 2.0, which we're so excited about for AARP Michigan and for the rest of the country, that talks about how all of your benefits come together. If you have TRICARE, if you have VA benefits, you don't know how to use your Medicaid or Medicare program, to really kind of get that best puzzle together to figure out what your healthcare benefits are going to be. So we've already had one of these sessions on October 3rd that brought together the Michigan Medicaid Assistance Program, the VA, and then also an expert from AARP talking about that Health Navigator. And we're having another one, because it's such an important conversation right now during this open enrollment time. And so on November 21st from 6 to 7, you can go to aarp.org/mi and go to these great events and find out more information about it, learn, ask questions, and really understand how your healthcare benefits play together to really benefit you.
Melissa, where can people access the Health Navigator?
Absolutely. So you can always go to aarp.org/veterans is really where we house all of the great resources. And you can always go to, like I said, aarp.org/mi for upcoming events and information and blog resources. We're always sharing a whole bunch of information. And like I said before, Troy's really going to talk about all of our pillars that we focus on around healthcare, around caregiving, around fraud prevention. And so we're very excited to have him here to speak on all the great things that we are doing.
You mentioned fraud prevention, and we know that veterans get scammed. So oftentimes people open up their wallet books and hearts because they see a charity that has the word veterans in it, and it might be a fraudulent charity, or people that are calling to talk to them about their benefits, and they say, hey, give me your contact information or your personal identifying information and I'll help you get your benefits. And again, it could be a scam. So can you either one of you talk a little bit more about how AARP is helping veterans to protect themselves against fraud?
Sure. I'll be more than happy to jump on that one there. As it's one of our 4 major pillars of focus with the VMF initiative, and that's centered around caregiving, our military and spouse work center, and then also earn benefits through the navigator that Mel mentioned. But fraud is a major portion of that. We've done some things very specifically to help veterans and their families, and it's centered around Operation Protect Veterans. It's a collaboration that we do have with our Fraud Watch Network, as well as the United States Postal Inspection Service. And what we do is we work together to find out the tips and scams that are out there that we can help veterans protect themselves. Some of the great information, Jennifer, that you just mentioned, make sure that you do not share pertinent information as it relates to veterans know the DD Form 214. Make sure that you don't, share your social. That can lead to all types of fraud and scams that can cost veterans and their families a tremendous amount of money. We did a report back in November of 2021 that stated that veterans were 40% more likely to lose money than civilians, because we know that veterans are always seeking that second mission and really looking forward to that. And then that's when the scammers can come and really focus on that and see that there are benefits that they can take away from veterans. So let's be vigilant, and all this information, like Melissa had mentioned, is located on our aarp.org/veteran site. But the new thing that we do have is the Vets Fraud Center, and it's located there as well. And that's online, real time, where you can find out scams that are happening right in your local area. So those are great tools that we have to help protect veterans and their families, Jennifer.
So fraud, Troy, you mentioned, is one of the 4 pillars. Can you talk more about the 4 pillars and go into a little bit more depth on how that helps people?
Absolutely. It's our 4 major focus areas. I mentioned fraud. We talked about the different tools there, but we'll talk about caregiving. And we have a specific military caregiving guide. It's a step-by-step process so that you can start that conversation as a caregiver to take care of that veteran, and to take care of yourself as well too. That is located on our site. You can download that, or print it out, or get a hard copy as well. And with these guides, it really walks you through the process in that caregiving journey. Within that, there's also a caregiving handbook as well. And then we also have a financial workbook for VMF caregivers, because we all know that it's a financial burden at times when you're doing the caregiving work. It's not for the faint of heart. So this workbook really provides you an opportunity to really be prepared as a caregiver. Even if you're starting that process or you're already in, you'll have that caregiving guide that you can utilize that. And again, you can find that at aarp.org/veterans. Click under caregiving and you can get that caregiving guide. Another part I would like to talk to you about is we call it our working jobs, or we also call it our Veteran and Military Spouse Job Center. It's an opportunity. We all know that as spouses move with their veterans, with their veteran husbands or wives, what happens is that when they move to a new area, they can be underemployed because their network, their social network and professional network is impacted by the move. There's a one-stop shop to where you can go and get re-careered through the job center. And then also what you can do is that you can sharpen some skills as well to prepare you for that next position. And that's located there. And then lastly, the earned benefits piece. And the most important part as well, because as veterans, sometimes we're not, we don't know, we don't have the up-to-date information as it relates to benefits that we've earned. So through our Health Benefits Navigator, which is a great tool, that tool allows you to be prepared for that meeting whenever you go to the VA. You can have this job tool with you. You can take it, and then you can fill out and make sure you're taking advantage of all the benefits that are available to you. And all of these tools are located on our aarp.org/veteran site. So those are the things that we're doing to really help our nearly 6 million veterans that are AARP members, to help them be successful. But these benefits are not only for AARP members, these are also benefits to anyone who are veterans as well.
So much of the work that you're doing in the national office, and Melissa, the local office, is led by staff, but more importantly, it's really led by volunteers. So talk about how volunteers get involved in this. And Troy, if you want to share, what kind of volunteers you're looking for and what some things that they could work on to help, either their fellow veterans or just because they want to work in this space.
Absolutely, Jennifer. I'll jump in and talk about some veteran volunteer opportunities, and then I'll get it over to my colleague Melissa, so she can share some local things that are available in Michigan as well. But on our national level, and hopefully you see the link on the screen, it's called our Veteran Volunteer Brigade Opportunity. It's done online. And what's great about it is that you can do it online. You can really use your social media that you currently access, and you're able to go online and share pertinent veteran stories to your network. And it's an opportunity to share some of the great stories that we have out there. And then also it gives you a chance to have an easy entry opportunity to learn about our Veterans Initiative, to see how you can really make an impact. And you don't have to be a veteran. I think the key is we want you to have that interest. If you have an interest in it, it's a great opportunity to help those who have served our country. And listen, let me tell you, the veteran population and really loves hearing about these stories that really highlight them in a time when they're making an impact throughout this great country. So there should be a link below. Please go ahead and do that. And then there's other opportunities that you could work on a local level around our four pillows, whether that's doing workshops or even speaking and doing presentations to veteran service organizations in your local community. But to hear more things that are happening locally, I get it over to my good friend in Michigan, Melissa. Melissa?
Yeah, thank you, Troy. You know, our founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, said to serve, not to be served. And that is really our mission here at AARP. And I think it's a lot of your missions out there too, to make sure that you're giving back to this community. Whether Troy said, if you have served, if you're active military, if your spouse served, we're here for you. We want to hear from you. We want to listen to what your concerns are. If we're doing a program that has tugged at your heartstrings, I want you to reach out to me. We definitely need a volunteer corps to help us out with this work. You know, something as simple but impactful as writing letters to the veteran homes here in this great state of Michigan, or putting flags on, you know, grave sites and those kind of things to honor those veterans. We're doing really impactful work from the ground up, and really educating on what those benefits are, helping you with navigating your healthcare, getting you back to work if that's what you want, and fraud prevention. My goodness, what a greater cause than to protect your pocketbook. So we need you. We need your help. I need to hear what organizations you're working with or where you're from, and how we can better engage this great state of Michigan. So if you're interested in volunteering with the Michigan State Office, or even with the Senior Brigade, as Troy mentioned, please feel free to shoot me an email at mseifert@aarp.org, and we'll be happy to get you connected and working in the field in this great state.
You talked about the stories that pull on your heartstrings, and we have some really fantastic videos of veterans or active military that are sharing their stories, and they just touch your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I think one of the greatest things that, you know, that I was witness to was when I was in Detroit and we were putting on one of these speed dating events that I call them, with the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, and somebody from the VA was there as well. And this gentleman was in World War II and was with the artillery part of the Army, and he was hard of hearing, had about 90% loss of hearing due to his in-country position, and found out that he was eligible for hearing aids at no cost. So this is the impact that we are making on a daily basis. And I think it's so important that we continue this work, and we can't do it alone. And so that's why I'm pulling at your heartstrings to come and join us and help us with this work. But I know Troy has so many more stories about the impact that this work has had as well.
Absolutely. I just want to share just something that's important, with myself being a veteran, there's so many stories that I hear consistently from veterans and their families. And let me just tell you, it's appreciated. Okay. That's the one thing that I want to share with everyone. They really appreciate when people are out there really trying to help them be successful and provide opportunities. So I think it's important that we continue to, if you're available to do something, nationally through the Veterans Brigade, or something locally, and it could be as large or as small, it's going to be impactful. So, I implore that you continue to do that, and look forward to coming out and visiting some of the wonderful work that's being done in Michigan, and coming out and talking to everyone. So, and just continue to, work hard, have fun, but also just know that you're making a difference to those families, and because they have sacrificed for those veterans to serve our wonderful country. Jennifer.
I love this story, Melissa, that you just told of the veteran who didn't know he had the access to getting the hearing aids. And hearing aids are expensive, and that is something that's life-changing. So I just think that, the feel good part of the work that we do is that we really do make a difference in very, almost simple ways, but yet are life changing. So I think it's, I just love hearing those stories. So we partner with organizations like the VA. We also partner with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation. Can you talk a little bit more about those partnerships?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take this one and then Troy can fill in the blank. So, I've mentioned the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency a number of times. They're a great partner with us. The VA is a great partner with us. The AAAs, which is your area agencies on aging, is a great partnership. But on a national level, we have this amazing partnership with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation that is solely focused on, I shouldn't say solely, but one of their main causes with AARP is our partnership on our caregiving guide that Troy had mentioned before. The reason that we partnered with Elizabeth Dole Foundation is because they understood that caregiving is a labor of love, that people don't identify as a caregiver. So we're trying to give them the tools and resources to say, are you filling your father's prescriptions? Are you taking your mother to the doctor? Are you helping out your sister navigate her house after her disability? You're a caregiver. If you're doing any of those things, you are a caregiver. And so Elizabeth Dole Foundation and AARP created that caregiving guide, and we go out into community to educate on it day after day, and everybody is overwhelmed by the information. It's a lot to take in, but I think it's an important conversation, and an important thing to note as well, that if you are a caregiver for somebody who was in the military, you're probably going to do it sooner than most caregivers and do it longer than most caregivers. So to have these conversations, this prep work in place about finances, DD 214s, patient advocate information is so important. And like Troy said, it's a step-by-step guide to really walk you through that process that can be cumbersome.
Yes, and just to add, Melissa did a great job of explaining it, and with our national partnership that we do have with the Elizabeth Dole Foundations, they have fellows in all of the states, or in the majority of all the states. And what's great about it, we're able to connect those fellows with local state staff like Melissa, who has a great relationship with a fellow that's in Michigan. Then those two together can work on some programming opportunities to where it can really target the veterans in your local community, which is great, and identify additional ones as well. So Jennifer, that is the example of how we take some national partnership that we do have and bring it to the local level so that we are all working in a seamless instruction of sharing this information to a wider audience. And I will tell you, Melissa, she's being very modest right here with everyone and all the Michiganers out there. Let me tell you, she has been at the forefront with the VMF initiative, and then also taking this caregiving and the relationship with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation to something that we use as an example, and we share with other states as well to make sure they can create that same type of synergy as well, especially with the I am a caregiver. So Melissa, I'm gonna throw it back to you. You may want to mention that as well. See that?
I mean, there's so much going on, Jen and Troy, and there's so much that we could be doing better and greater, I think. And that's why we want the buy-in from veterans in Michigan, or people that just have a passion about this group of people. I appreciate Troy's comments. I'm just happy that we were able to have that conversation early to make sure that the other states in this great country have access to these resources and understand the importance of engaging veterans and military and their families to make sure that they know all the benefits that they've earned through their service. And it really is just a way for AARP to give a small thank you back, to say thank you so much for all of your sacrifices, the service that you gave this great country for us. And so, like I said, it's very small, but we hope that it has some kind of impact on your life.
You mentioned a few times sharing information, sharing resources, and one way that we do that is through the Veterans Report. So Troy, can you share more about what that is?
Absolutely. I want to share about the Veteran Report. It's a new newsletter that we created on the national level, and this goes out. It started back in early August, if I'm not mistaken, early July, late July, early August, and it's a bi-weekly newsletter that goes out that shares stories about veterans and their stories, some that go back in history and some that's as recent as well. So what we do is with that, we go ahead and send that out on a bi-weekly basis. We would love to add folks to it so you can get this wonderful about great stories. We talked about stories throughout this conversation. That's another opportunity to hear those stories. When you share, you can hear those stories and share them. So it's called the Veteran Report. There's a way that you can sign up for it. There should be a link coming at the bottom of your screen here where you can go ahead and sign up for it. And we're very excited so far. We had initial goal of having about 5,000 people sign up for it, and now it's over 13,000. So it's continually growing, and we'd love to get your support to go ahead and join this free report that really shares some great feel-good stories about veterans. And what you'll find is you'll find more similarities to those stories. And if you have a very engaging story, please send that in to Melissa, and she will make sure that gets up to the Veteran Report and have it sent out to all of our thousands and thousands of people across the country. So the Veteran Report, sign up for it. It's free, and it's a great opportunity to read some great stories about those who have served our country.
We could keep talking, I think, for hours, right, about this work, because it's so important, it's so critical, and it's such good stuff. Looking into 2023, Melissa, I'll start with you. What are some of the plans that you have for Michigan?
Oh my goodness. Well, our fellow Angelina, who's actually watching us right now, we were talking in DC this past week during a planning session. We really want to focus on educating veterans on how to use telemedicine through the VA. That's going to be a big push for us this year. I think it's a very important cause and a worthy cause. So we're working with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation and AARP on that. We will continue to advocate here at the Capitol for caregiving resources and also bring that in community to make sure about the Prepare to Care document that we created. And if there's other things that we're not doing that you want to know about, tap us and we'll see what we can do. But we're going to be doing all of this. So just make sure that you're coming back to that events page on AARP about fraud prevention and financial resources and everything. We've been doing it for the past 2 years virtually, and that hasn't really been great. I think that we're better in person. I think we're all better together. So we're coming back in community this year. So make sure that you're looking out for these events and that you attend them. They're free to anybody that comes. We typically have some type of food. I'm just going to do a plug there, shameless. But it's just a wealth of information. So I hope that I'll see some of you. And if you mention that you watch me on Facebook, we can take a selfie together or whatever that is. But I just really look forward to seeing all of your faces and helping you out through something that can be pretty traumatic or hard to get through.
Great work, Melissa. And Troy, what about you? What's up for 2023?
There's so many great things that we're looking to do as it relates to the Health Benefits Navigator that I just want to share with everyone is that, we'll be looking to make sure that stays current and up to date. So a way that we're going to do that is probably every 3 months or so, starting in January, we're going to look to update the Health Benefits Navigator. So if there's any new things that are available, we'll make sure to have some inserts or have that available and make sure that you can digitally download it with no issues. Just like with the PACT Act that just came out, we have a nice little insert that you'll be able to utilize with that. So as things are happening in 2023, we're going to be doing that. Very excited about getting back in community, and we're going to be looking to around the country to support states when they're doing that. And then one more thing as it relates to Michigan, met Angelina not only last week in DC, but we met her last year at a different event or earlier this year with Dole. He's fantastic, and I wish her the best of luck at upcoming events that she has. I know she has something in New Orleans that she's running for as it relates to being a caregiver. So good luck and way to go, Michigan. Okay, that's all I have for us.
So Troy, I know you have a couple of things that you want to pitch. One is the AARP discount for veterans. And then also we've got a big Alan Jackson celebration coming up.
I'm so happy that that's all right. We need more time. We need like about another 3 hours so we can go through everything. But yes, November 11th on Veterans Day, November 11th, we have the Alan Jackson concert coming up. It's free to register. It's gonna be Alan Jackson and Gary Sinise, who's one of our brand ambassadors for AARP. The link is here. Click on the link. You'll be able to sign up for it. It starts at 8 p.m. You can sit back at your home, relax, and enjoy a wonderful concert from Alan Jackson. And then secondly, definitely want to make sure everyone knows that veterans and their families, you can sign up for an AARP membership. There's a 43% discount that starts on that you can do in November and start it now. And it's a 43% membership discount on a 5-year membership. So go ahead and do those two things. You guys will be fantastic. Enjoy. You got a little concert and you got a big membership discount. So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Troy. Melissa, any final words from you?
No, this is just a small way for us to give back again. And I just appreciate all that we're watching today. And I hope that I hear from some of you and look for us in 2023 in your community.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you both for all that you do. And thank you to our viewers. We thank you to our veterans who are watching. Thank you for your service, and especially to the family members who support the veterans and active military, because without your support, they couldn't do what they do. So thank you to everybody. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
Take care, everybody. Take care, Michigan.